Welcome to the party.
Boom, boom, boom. We're on, Greg. What's up? Topic Thunder.
How's it going?
Good. Couple things. Guys, that was my fuck up. The reason why we didn't have it last week. I I don't know how I did it. I numbered the same episode twice, so I thought we had one more in the bank. In case you guys haven't figured this out, we kind of batch these, and we're not wearing the same shirt all the time.
Yeah, that's what we really don't wear the same shirt 5 Mondays in a row.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So that was my fault. So we're filming a couple today. This is going to come out the Monday after the big game between Greg's Green Bay Packers. And the reason I'm wearing this, I'm not a diehard 49er fan. I'm not a diehard fan of any team. I just love football. But my mother is a diehard, or she was a diehard football fan. So I'm rooting for the 49ers. Greg, if your Green Bay Packers pull it off, that's cool. I don't have anything against you. I am rooting for the Titans, though. I don't want Kansas City. I don't know.
What?
City's fine too. I don't have a problem with them either. But I just like
Yeah. I mean, either
like
one of those, I think,
yeah.
is good. But what's your prediction though?
Really hard to bet against Aaron Rodgers, honestly. But I haven't believed in them all year, which sounds funny. They're 13-3.
Yeah.
I should buy in. I don't. I think I think the Niners are going to win, and I think for two reasons. Number one, I think they're going to run the ball better than the Packers, and I think that D-line is going to have something to say.
Yeah, I think
Also,
kind of the same thing. I mean, certainly I love the Packers, and would love to see them head to the Super Bowl. But I've seen the 49ers just roll over teams this season.
Yeah.
And I guess I haven't gotten the same feeling from the Packers of them rolling over too many teams. I mean, how many blowouts did they have this year? Any?
I don't know. I just know when it comes to the playoffs, it doesn't really matter because it's the good teams. It's not those, cream puffs you get every year. But I think you're right. I think they Aaron's not the same. Aaron's not the same, but he doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to be. He just has to pick up, he just has to pick up third downs and keep the ball safe, basically.
Yeah. I mean, that's. He's got that. I guess that magic that he can just drop a pass in there. He can make things happen.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Last week's game, I mean, the defense, while we're protecting pretty good against the pass, but then that just left the quarterback to, get first downs. He had Russell Wilson was, I think, the leading rusher of the Seahawks that game because he
most games.
Well, because he can get 10 yards and not worry about it. So,
dude, if that guy was on not as such a early 1990s offense, they would have. He'd be really good. He's amazing, but I think he's handcuffed. But
yeah.
Anyway, sorry guys, this isn't NFL talk. but
it could be.
It could be. My prediction is San Francisco. I don't do scores. I just think San Francisco is going to win. Yeah. I don't think they're going to roll by any stretch of the imagination.
No, I think it's going to be a nail biter.
Yeah, me too. I also think I have a feeling Kansas City is going. It's going to be tight in the first half, and then Kansas City's just going to roll, or they're going to have that one quarter where they score like 21 points.
I do get nervous every halftime because if the Packers are doing well in the first half, then that team's going to make adjustments in the second half, and it's usually the third quarter is like, oh my god, are we going to do it? Are we going to pull it out?
Yeah, so, I heard a great point. There's a guy I listened to, Colin Cowherd. He made a great point that LaFleur is great for the first 15 plays, and at halftime, if you think of it last week, if you watched or think about the Green Bay Packer game last week, they were rolling in the first half.
Yeah.
Second half, when you make adjustments, something happened. Now, and they were saying that Kyle Shanahan makes adjustments in game, during game, halftime.
Yeah.
That might be a key to watch. That's all. I don't know if that's. I think it just might be the fact that because LaFleur is young, he just doesn't have the experience to do this yet.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all. So, my prediction is San Francisco, Kansas City. What about you?
You know what? I literally know nothing about the Kansas City and the Titans game. I mean, and because my football knowledge is extended to the Green Bay Packers and whoever they're playing that week. I mean, I'm not that. I've tried. I mean, I can't do fantasy football. I'm not good enough. I don't have the headspace for it. I know guys that can name rosters forever, and for
unfortunately, that's me.
well, yeah, that's just that. I mean, they can name off who was on. Like, if they're Packers fans, they can name off the Packers roster from 2001. I go, they can do that for years, and they can do it with multiple teams, multiple players. I'm not that guy. Now, if you want to know who was in the Justice League back in the mid '90s, I got it. I can tell you. I don't know if I can tell you the issue that they came in, but I can do that.
I believe you.
I can't do. I can't do that.
You can't do real life.
Yeah. My wife is like, she keeps chatting me. Are you recording? I need to make noise. And she's making noise in the back. Yes, you're fine. You're you're okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So actually, congratulations to the Green Bay Packers that they won, or congratulations to the San Francisco 49ers that won, because I forgot this is coming on Monday, the day after. So
yeah, we don't yet.
Yeah, we have no idea. Okay, let's get on to our topic of the day. This is going to be a little headspacey. Actually, I'm going to go to the first one. Do you need college, Greg?
Do you mean university 4-year college? Is that what you're getting at?
Is there other kinds?
Well, it's technical college, yeah. I mean, it's technically still. Are you talking about a 4-year degree? That's what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Do you need it? Does anybody?
Do you need? Yeah. Does anybody really need it nowadays?
Yes, it is all dependent on what you're going into. I do think there is a certain level of kind of what some people call the scam, where you scam high school students into thinking they need to go to college. Like, you can't get a good job unless you go to college, kind of thing. And that is complete and utter bullshit. Anybody can get a decent job without going to college. And in fact, I know plenty of people that have, and they make very good livings. They make better livings than I do, and I have a master's degree. And that's kind of the rub. I mean, there are professions out there that demand a 4-year degree, some that demand or highly recommend that you get a master's degree, and it doesn't move you forward in the field much at all. It's a checkbox. So I don't believe you need it. I think it depends on what you're going into, and if that field requires it, then you've got to check that box. You got to do it. But for a lot of careers that are out there, the answer is no. You can get on the job training. There are other ways for you to learn those skills that don't require you to take Philosophy 101 or have 6 credits of the arts.
You're talking about the core classes.
Yeah, well, whatever, our college called them the core classes, where they made us take certain classes that didn't have any bearing on a lot of people's degrees. And, you and I paid thousands of dollars to take those classes that we didn't need. Yeah. Now, some people say it's the skill set. It's like, well, the skills that you use to get through those courses, like reading, okay, so I read a couple thousand pages in a week. I don't know. There's just, if I had to do it over again, I don't know that I would do the 4-year before. Well, maybe I would. I maybe wouldn't have gone into teaching, but I don't know. I'm not one to look back at that because certainly going into teaching and spending my years there made me who I am today and put me where I
Right.
am today.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm kind of hesitant on that. I'm leaving it much more open for my kids.
Hmm.
I'm not saying my parents told me you should go to college. Why should I go to college? Because that's what you do after high school.
Right. Yeah, there was that when we were kids. That was kind
Mm-hmm.
of the goal. You know what I wonder about? I wonder about nowadays. Would it be wise? I guess this would depend on the person, but would it be wise to say, "Hey, look, if you don't know what you want to do, probably shouldn't go to college for the first 2 years and work through
No.
those cores. Like you should probably go to college with a somewhat of an idea of what direction you want to go, and that could branch off into something as you go through it. You realize it's not where you want to
Mm-hmm.
go. But I think just sending kids, hey, you graduated high school, congratulations. Next step, college,
Yeah.
and don't worry that you don't know what you want to do. You'll figure it out there. I
Yeah.
think that might be the wrong way to
It
go
is. It is
instead of
totally the wrong
maybe
way.
instead of maybe taking a kid and saying, "Hey, look, I want you to work at a gas station or McDonald's for a year, so you know that." And not only that, I think that would have motivated me to like, I don't want to do this the rest of my
Mm-hmm.
life. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just, maybe it would have given me a better idea or maybe a better push or I think like if I had a son, like probably when he's working age, I probably would have had him start doing construction,
Mm-hmm.
ditch digging, whatever. Um,
Yeah. I mean, and the killer is like, I mean, it used to be, well, you don't want to be a garbage man. You don't want to do that.
they
And
make
now it's
good
like,
money.
exactly. And no one ever
Yeah.
tells you what a garbage man makes. A
No.
sanitation worker? Come on. One of the highest, and I really am a big fan of Mike Rowe, who
Yes.
is I would say he's a podcaster. He had a TV show for a long time where he kind of featured
Dirty job.
dirty jobs. Yeah.
That is my dream job. That was my dream job. I thought, what a cool
Yeah.
career to go to these different places and figure out how America really
Well, and
works.
his ulterior motive was that he needed to feature these jobs that did not require a 4-year degree. Somebody's making a living at it. Yeah, it's a dirty job. Someone's got to do it. And
Yep.
if it's that dirty of a job, you can get paid really well.
Yep.
I don't remember the salary. All I know is that it was over double of what I was making at the time. And the guy works at a a wastewater treatment facility.
Yeah.
And they call, excuse me, excuse me, they call him the scrubber. And you're like, what's that job?
Yeah.
And he puts on a completely watertight scuba gear. And his scuba gear has got like the big where you can he can talk in it. It's not like he's got to keep the scuba thing in his mouth. It's like a huge helmet. And he takes a brush and he goes down into the raw sewage holding tank and he scrubs the screens because they get clogged.
Yeah.
And he needs to do it about once a month. But this guy was making a much better living than I did. They showed his house, they showed his cars. He was able to put away for his kids to go to whatever school they wanted to. And he's like, college or not college, it's up to them. But here's what I do once a month to be able to do that. Now, he had other duties that he had to do.
Mm-hmm.
But he got that job. And I'm like,
Hey man, somebody's got to
okay.
scrub the shit.
Yeah. I'm
Just
like,
how it is. Yeah.
Is it gross? They were like, well, how bad? He's like, well, you're in a watertight get up. I mean, it's gross like when you're getting in and it kind of, you see it kind of goes through your mask and then you're there. And then when you come back out, but he's like, they hose me off when I'm done. It's just the thought of being in there. And he's like, whatever, man, you just get used to it.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, all right.
Yeah. I remember one where they had to, those windmills. If you're driving through Indiana, you hit those windmills. Yeah. Somebody has to go up there and repaint all that.
Yep.
Yeah, and you don't have to you have to go up there, strip it down, and then repaint it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going through like a tight little cylinder, and there's no air conditioning in those cylinders.
Nope.
And you're not painting in the middle of winter. So it's those are rough jobs. So I get what you're saying, and let me kind of go back to what I was saying because I feel bad because I felt like I was saying like get like a bad job like McDonald's. It's not that it's a bad job. In fact, I just read an article that Taco Bell is they're gonna start paying their managers six figures to manage a Taco Bell.
All right.
Yeah, it's some sort of new initiative to make it worth working at Taco Bell. So
Hmm.
I'm not saying that any of those jobs are bad. What I'm saying, to me, a job's a job, actually. But what I'm saying is, it gives you an idea of what direction.
Right.
Do you like the service industry? Well, then maybe there's a better
Hmm.
place where you can go where you can get paid better.
So when I was teaching, I worked with kids that school was mostly not their thing. Um, you know, for whatever reason, whether it was a
Well, hang
disability.
on. I want to stop that for a second. So school wasn't their thing. School, the way it was structured, wasn't their thing.
Correct. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
these kids could learn. I mean, if you
Yeah.
taught it to them in their mode of learning, or if they were just really into it, they could learn. Um, they weren't into Shakespeare, you know, and that's was
Really?
more.
God,
Yeah,
what's wrong with them?
and that was more of kind of the EBD scale is what they called it. But then I also worked with kids with learning disabilities, and that was just like the wiring, the way I used to kind of explain it to parents is like if you had blinds, and so all the information, all the sunlight is supposed to come through the blinds, but someone has twisted it a little bit. It's still light. It's still getting through. We just maybe need to open the blinds a little bit or find ways to do it. Anyway, so with those kids, I would say, a 4-year college isn't the only way to do it. Pick something you love, and then go do it. And I had a kid who. Um, got picked up by NASCAR because he loved working with transmissions. He did some amazing work, and NASCAR, recognized that
Cool.
and said, "Here's the thing. We're going to send you to a tech school, and it is one of the best tech schools in the country."
Hmm.
And they said, "We're
NASCAR
going
was
to
going to do this for him?
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
They were going to pay for his schooling. When he got done with the schooling, he had to work for NASCAR for, I think, 4 or 5 years. It was like however many years it was going to take him to get through the program. That's
Yeah.
how long it was going to. He had to work for them. I
Right.
mean, it was still a job. It's not like they're say work for us for free. I mean,
Right.
just come
No,
work
but
at
that's
NASCAR.
a great opportunity. That's great.
And then when that contract kind of ended, he had the choice of either staying with NASCAR or they were going to make sure that he got picked up by a race team. So the kid had his career kind of set.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Wow.
it was a very good. I mean, and they're like, and you know what? After you're done working for us, if you don't want to go to a race team, you've got a degree from this tech school. You've got experience working for NASCAR. Any shop in the world will pick you up, and you can be a mechanic there.
Very
Um,
cool. Maybe we
and
should
yeah,
get him on the podcast.
oh, I've lost track of that kid. I
Oh,
haven't
you
done.
did?
Yeah, yeah. It was very early in my
How many
teaching.
transmission people work on NASCAR?
I have no idea. Um, but yeah, I mean, it was the kind of thing like the kid barely graduated because he didn't want to go to senior English class.
Yeah, I get it. It's
So
it, it kind of feels archaic.
in a lot of ways, it is.
Yeah. You would know more than that. For those of you that do not know, Greg was a school teacher for 15, 20 years.
15. Yeah.
15. Yeah. So, um, yeah, just kind of archaic. And
Hmm.
did you get an idea that teachers were kind of like, dude, what are we doing? Like,
Some,
yeah,
absolutely some, and a lot of those teachers have made some amazing changes in their curriculum or
good
in
for
their
them.
schools.
Good for
Yeah,
them.
I mean they've really come around. I really believe in the charter school model. I think that's a great way to go.
Yeah, yeah, you're
Uh,
telling me about that. Yeah.
but there were also teachers that I mean, because I got into teaching in the early 2000s, which means there were plenty of teachers there from the late 70s through the 80s.
Yeah.
And one guy that I didn't work with him, but he was in the school I was at. He had a filing cabinet, and it was a 4-drawer filing cabinet.
Yeah.
He would open the top drawer, and it would be, I mean, and that was the entire quarter was in that top drawer. So he said, "Oh, it's first quarter, day 34. Here's what we do today." And he had copies of ditto sheets. I mean, he had,
Oh no.
which means, I mean, you're talking to be like, "Hey, have you ever thought about changing anything up?" And he's like, "Why would I do that?"
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's like, no, I'm
Wow.
not changing anything up. I'm retiring in a couple of years. Why would I do that?
Yeah, why would I stimulate myself and my students?
Yeah. And I talked to him. I'm like, I remember he was teaching Hamlet.
You young whippersnapper.
Yeah.
What do you know?
He's teaching Hamlet. And I'm like, Disney's The Lion King is Hamlet. And he's like, what? I said, yeah. I said, Hamlet's been redone plenty of times in different forms. It is, yeah. Simba is Hamlet, whose father is killed by his brother, or his father is killed by his uncle. The uncle takes over and kind of marries his brother's wife. I mean, it's a pretty tight side by side. Timon and Pumbaa.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Check out the big brain on Greg.
It's all learned. But yeah, and I'm like, hey, this would be a really cool project if you read Hamlet, watch The Lion King, have the kids make the crossovers, and he's like, no, we read Hamlet, we watch Hamlet. That's it. Take a test, do some worksheets. We're done.
Is Hamlet the one where the guy talks to his skull, Horatio?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's that one. Okay,
yep.
I didn't know if that was that or Othello.
I thought it was Hamlet.
I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, going back to I think college is necessary if you know what you want to do, and if the path is that you have to go through college.
Mm-hmm.
But
obviously, if you want to be a brain surgeon, you have to go to college.
Yeah.
But if you want to be a brain surgeon, nobody gives a shit where you got your undergrad from. So if you're saying I need to go to this prestigious school, for us around here it'd be Madison or Marquette, or if you think an Ivy League for an undergrad, when was the last time you went to your doctor and said, hey, where did you get your undergrad from?
Yeah, that's true.
Nobody cares. They want to know where you got your PhD from. And you ask your doctor, what were your grades in medical school like? You should. You want to know that he did
That's
well.
True.
But
yeah, that reminds me of a commercial. You've been watching that commercial?
Oh, yeah. I'm totally okay at this.
Yeah.
Just okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess who just got reinstated?
Well, and a lot of people, they throw out the opportunities that, honestly, the military can offer. No,
You're right.
I never served in the military, but my dad did. And not that my dad took any of those benefits and went to college on the military's time. But I remember when it was the past election year when people were screaming about free college, either for or against. And I'm like, you know what? Our country does offer free college.
Yeah.
Like many of the other countries in the world, you have to go into military service.
Darren Hafford can talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And once you're done with your military service, here's a bunch of money to go to college.
Yeah. So there's a lot of avenues out there.
Yeah. I know people that have gone to the military with that was their plan, but the education they got in the military
is way better than the education at a university.
They didn't need to go to college after that. And then they're able to pass along those benefits to a family member. Well,
not only that, man, I didn't know you could do that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I forgot. I lost my train of thought, so not a big deal. Yeah, so I think we're both kind of like, you don't need it, but maybe you do. Depends on what you want to do.
Research all avenues. Research every avenue. Look at the jobs. Is a 4-year degree required? And if it's not required, are you going to hit a glass ceiling if you don't have a 4-year degree? A lot of people think law enforcement, you don't need a 4-year degree to do that, but you will top out if you don't have one. So that's something to think about. Maybe you don't need to get it right away. Maybe you can do it go to the academy or a tech school and then finish up your 4-year later. Just look at the options.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
And when you're looking at those options for, if we have any 17-year-old people that listen to our podcast, don't feel pressured. If you're feeling pressured, don't. I mean, you've got plenty of time to make those decisions. If it's graduation day from high school and you're walking across with no plan, that's okay. Tell people you're taking a gap year. Because if you say you don't have a plan, people are like, oh my God, you don't have a plan.
Yeah.
If you say, you know what, I'm taking a gap year, they go, oh, that's nice.
Oh, is that a buzzword? Gap year?
Yeah, gap. Taking a gap year.
Yeah. My advice, people, no pressure, no diamonds. Okay? I'm just kidding.
Squeeze 'em.
All right. So I think we handled that topic like the studs we are. I think we'll go to our fact of the day, which is, oh, I like this one already. During the filming of Batman Begins, someone crashed into the Batmobile in a state of panic, thinking it was an invading alien spacecraft. No.
They filmed that in Chicago.
Yeah, no. That didn't happen. That did not happen. No, I mean, I'm sure it happened, but there's no way they thought it was an invading alien spacecraft. That is, no. Do you believe that?
No, not really.
They were like,
somebody probably
they were
crashed.
like, yeah, they were either high or they were like, dude, that's the Batmobile. Let's freaking test this thing out.
Do people get high in Illinois? I didn't know that.
We can now, Greg. We can now. I should try that.
Go wait in line for 3 hours.
Well, I think the lines are down now. I know the first day it was crazy.
I saw the first day footage, and they had Wisconsinites in there. They were completely like, "Oh yeah, man, I'm doing it." I'm like, "You're dumb. Your employer is watching this."
Yes, exactly. But yeah, back to this. You know what they probably thought? They probably thought, dude, I'm just going to smash into this Batmobile. I'm going to wreck my car, and Warner Brothers is going to pay for a new car for me. That's probably what they did.
That's not how movies work.
That's not how it works. But nobody knows that. All right, Greg. We are 26 minutes into this. That's what happens when we don't talk in a while. We just roll.
We covered 3 topics though, so we're okay.
We did. Yeah, we did. So if you guys want to pace this one out, go for it.
Feel free.
All right, yeah. All right. So, Greg, thank you for joining me. Everybody, thank you for listening to us, two guys talking about stuff. Again, congratulations to the 49ers, and Greg, congratulations to who?
The Green Bay Packers.
If you guys made it. That's it. Anything else you got to say, Greg?
Not at all.
All right. Topic Thunder out.
Not at all.